Oh, I've seen this film before, mate. So many times. Yo, what's going on, people? Welcome back to Football Therapy with me, your host, Jan. I do hope you are all doing well today, mate. I really do hope that. Chelsea have dropped points against Southampton in the Premier League late on at home at Stamford Bridge in a 3-3 draw. The first half, complete domination and some incredibly exciting football from Chelsea Football Club. Germanic sensation Timo Werner, 2 goals and an assist. Kai Havertz getting on the score sheet. Pulisic looking great. Ziyech making his debut. Chelsea having some comical defending, some unlucky moments, and ultimately it's their own fault for not putting the game away. Yes, at the moment we know no Mendy, no Thiago Silva, Chelsea are poor defensively at the best of times. Just score more goals if you're better. Chelsea were much better offensively and they didn't capitalise off their dominance, and we've suffered by dropping points to a very good Southampton team. So yeah, mate, today we're going to get into it, your match review here at Football Therapy. Hey, do consider subscribing if you want to cheer me up, because that would be nice, and if you choose to do so, hit the bell. And yeah, like the video, please. Anyway, let's get into it. So, 3-3 on the day, 2 goals from Timo, and he assisted Kai Havertz for the third, who looked like was going to be scoring the match winner. Danny Ings got his customary goal. We all knew Ings was going to score. I mean, come on, he does. Che Adams capitalises off a bit of horror show defending, and late doors, Jannik Vestergaard. Let's have a look at the Who Scored graphic for some context of the lineup and match statistics over my face now. Right, this is how Chelsea lined up. It's a 4-2-3-1, which does seem to be Frank Lampard's formation of choice to get the best out of Kai Havertz, which often looks like it works. We had Kepa Arrizabalaga in goal, like we all assumed. We had Azpilicueta at right back, which we all pretty much figured, considering Reece James has done a lot of work recently for England. Left back, Ben Chilwell's back, and the centre back partnership consisted of Zuma and Christensen. As predicted, the double pivot was Jorginho and Kante, as predicted, with Kai Havertz in the 10, Timo Werner up top, Pulisic and Mount on the flanks, and yes, they were switching flanks. In fact, the front four was really quite fluid until it wasn't. Now, of course, I will go through player performances in this game, but I really want to stress how this game started. Chelsea were magnificent the first half. Like, superb. They scored 2 goals. It should have been 2-0, really. Well, to be honest, no. It should have been 3-0. Hell, maybe even 4-0. It wasn't just me. The neutrals, the commentators, and just parties that don't have a horse in the race were all saying, yes, Chelsea was sensational. Great combinational play in that first half. Pulisic looked superb. Jorginho, excellent. Kante, pretty good. Obviously, Jorginho's assist was magnificent for Timo Werner. Timo, of course, was the highlight of that first half, doing some excellent work all over the gaff. His first goal, his first Premier League goal for Chelsea, was all his own doing. Superb individual work. And his second goal was a lovely piece of, freestyling, if you will, when he lobs the keeper and heads it in. He was excellent. And of course, he assisted Kai Havertz. So he had a magnificent game. Generally, the Chelsea attack looked very good. But in that first half, Kai Havertz makes a mistake, concedes possession, and Chelsea concede a goal. Now, I'm not blaming Kepa, it is ultimately a Kai Havertz mistake, but if you look at how it happens, how he tries to retain possession and sort of falls, it's not really dumb, it's just more unfortunate. So at that point, Chelsea had been really dominant in the first half and looking amazing, just like a really good attacking team. Kai makes that mistake, you sort of look at it and go, alright, I understand what he's trying to do there, it's unfortunate. But the problem after that is how Chelsea react to conceding. That's the real concern in this part of the game. Because of course they were completely dominant, looking excellent, and then Kai makes the mistake, Chelsea concede, and there's a frantic few moments, or minutes rather, where Southampton come back to the game because they inherently grow in confidence because they've scored, and Chelsea react poorly. It's a poor mentality, if you ask me. That's where the issue lies there. Anyway, of course, the first half ends and you think, where's this going? Well, it's going to a difficult period in the second half, and that brilliant, scintillating, free-flowing, attacking Chelsea from the first half, you won't see them again in this game, sadly. Chelsea concede an equaliser for it to go 2-2 with an absolute comedic segment of defending between Kurt Zouma, who makes a mistake, and between him and Kepa, there's an array of lack of confidence. Kepa goes in for a 50-50 but then pulls out. You could tell he's probably scared of a red card, having flashbacks of mistakes from his past, when really he should just back himself and clear it. And the ball eventually gets scrapped in by Che Adams, and it's 2-2. But that's Chelsea's own complete failure. And you expect it from perhaps a Kepa who's low on confidence at the moment, but really it's a Zouma mistake. And I really want to say at this point, man, if Chelsea had the same defensive lineup as they did against Palace, with Edouard Mendy in goal and Thiago Silva starting next to Kurt Zouma, that doesn't happen because, of course, Mendy's in goal, perhaps not to make the same mistakes as Kepa did in that instance, but of course Zuma's worried, anxious clearance I don't think would happen with Silva next to him, because Thiago Silva made Zouma look better, commanding him round in French. I don't think that goal happens if we have that backfire from the last game. So anyway, it's 2-2. Chelsea do sort of slowly grow back into the game, but like I said, nowhere near as positive as the attacking football in the first half. Timo Werner does some good work. Forgive me how he gets the ball, but he does dribble around, gets behind the back line and plays in. Kai Havertz squares it to him for a relatively open goal. Nice finish though, the way he taps it with his left foot. It is a good finish, an easy finish, but he finishes it well, of course. And Chelsea are up 3-2. They have opportunities to score the fourth before the end of the game, and of course in stoppage time they concede. It's after a set piece, the Vestergaard goal. I thought it was Theo Walcott at first, but they get the 3-3 goal, and then they think they can go and win it as well because they get another set piece, a corner after that, and Chelsea are rocked. And ultimately this game, points were dropped because Chelsea didn't capitalise off pressure, defensive frailties and poor mentality. I think in terms of how Chelsea was set up tactically with the 4-2-3-1 against Southampton, and the good ideas were all there, but those moments from Zouma, Kepa, and the mentality to reacting to going a goal down after conceding is unacceptable. So let's talk about player performances. Kepa, now, look man, I'm not going to blame him at all for the first goal because of that mistake, and then he sort of gets squared out a little bit. He did make a couple of saves, he did make a couple of claims. I'm not out to roast Kepa, but that second Southampton goal is between him and Kurt Zouma, in my opinion, but I don't think he was awful this game. It was like a collective defensive failure. At left back, I think Ben Chilwell was absolutely magnificent in the first half, superb. He looked so good. That first half, him and Werner were the best two players, I think, in my opinion, even though, Pulisic and Jorginho were very, very good as well. For me, that was the case. At right back, Azpilicueta, again, the classic 7 out of 10. I feel like if he capitalised on a couple of his runs later on in the game, we could have scored that extra goal to give us all 3 points. He made a couple of mistakes, but generally he wasn't awful and he's always pretty solid. Zouma, although he won loads of aerial duels and he does that very, very well, he's culpable for the second goal. It's on him, so it's disappointing. Christensen made a big high-profile error in the first half, but I can't think of anything too individual other than that. But collectively, the defence was poor. I think Jorginho was very, very good. When we're on top, he looks superb, doesn't he? When you've got the ball and he's basically making passes and plays, he's great. But when you're under the cosh a little bit, when you're under pressure, not so sure. Same with Kante. Kante did really good defensive work in my opinion, but there's a couple of instances where he overcooked passes moving forwards. Now I know it's Kante and he's never expected to be a playmaker, but just get the weight of pass right and we're in a couple of extra times than we were. Kai Havertz got his goal, but I think he's played better without getting a goal for Chelsea so far this season, but you can see what he's all about. When he's purring, he's good. Timo Werner in front of him, our man of the match, 2 goals and assist, involved in every single goal, even if he had a sort of quiet spell. Pulisic, back in the starting lineup, had really good moments, nutmegging people out of the press, very, very good. Mason Mount, really poor for me. Anonymous, really, and I don't think that's anything to do with him starting on the right wing, which people get angry with Frank starting him out there, because to be honest, in that first half, the front four was incredibly fluid. He was switching with not only Pulisic, but he was switching with Kai Havertz. They were all moving around. Even Timo Werner was dropping deep. This is not, I just think he played badly in this game, and I'm a fan of Mason Mount, so put my hands up when he plays badly. I thought he just was anonymous. Maybe he was tired from England duty, where he played pretty good. And Ziyech looked really good when he came on in moments, but it's not the kind of time that you want to judge him. Do you know what I mean? And ultimately, disappointing. Chelsea very good moving forward, very poor at defending. I thought had we had the same back five as the Palace game, in my opinion, we win this game. But hey, could have done with all 3 points, sort of ripped your hand off for it after the international break. But hey, we move, it's disappointing. But tell me your thoughts and opinions on this game down in the comment section below. I want to hear it. What do you think? Drop a like on the video to make me feel better about a difficult game. Subscribe if you're new. Enjoy the football, and I'll see you later.
You ain't so tough with that bad boy talk. I'ma get it how I'm living, I'ma walk the walk. Outline my lines, I rap through thought. Body bag the verse, outlined in chalk. In my life seen trouble, hustle on the double. Silence on the trigger like my pick got a muzzle. Yo chick like to guzzle, bad boy stay in trouble. I only love this paper, sorry I don't. I laugh me baby.